All right, y'all. It's time. It's finally time. I bought the tickets for the future movie of the year, Oppenheimer. First things first. Let's talk about the incredible talent behind this film. The cast is absolutely amazing. We have Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, and that's just the beginning. Not to mention the visionary director, Christopher Nolan, who made one of the greatest movies, or rather movie series, the Dark Knight trilogy. Not to mention the creative minds working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring this cinematic masterpiece to life. First, let's talk about the plot. The movie follows Julius Robert Oppenheimer. He was an American theoretical physicist and one of the key figures in the development of the atomic bomb during World War II. His most notable achievement came during World War II when he led the Manhattan Project, a top secret U.S. government research program to develop the first atomic bomb. The project aimed to harness nuclear fission and create a powerful weapon, and it was ultimately resulted in the successful detonation of the first atomic bomb on July 16, 1945 in the New Mexico desert. The atomic bombs developed under Oppenheimer's guidance were later used on Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. This played a crucial role in the end of World War II. The devastating effects of these bombings, however, raised ethical concerns and sparked intense debates about the use of nuclear weapons. Oppenheimer's involvement with the left-wing political groups and previous associations with the communist sympathizers led to his security clearance being revoked after World War II. Even after this false accusations, previous colleagues and prominent scientists defended him fiercely. Oppenheimer, despite these accusations, still continued to teach at Princeton, where he later became the director of the Institute for Advanced Study. He continued teaching until he passed away on February 18, 1967 in Princeton, New Jersey. Now, on to my personal opinion of the movie. I went to go see it at the City Walk IMAX, which is one of the only places that you can go see it in 70 millimeter. Of course, there are other spots in California, but this one was the closest to my location. Oh my God, this movie is amazing. Okay, like the sound, the cinematography, the acting, all of it. I see absolutely no reason why this shouldn't be movie of the year. It is a little complex to understand. I'm not gonna lie to you, since I'm not a physicist, obviously, but I mean, it's not impossible to understand. There are some like complicated topics that are discussed here, especially like during the end of the movie. It is extremely complex, but like I don't even know too much about physics, and I still very much enjoy this movie. But some of the main things that stuck out to me, for one, were let's bring our appreciation to Kitty Oppenheimer and Rami Malek, Emily Blunt and Rami Malek. If we're talking about the actors' names, Emily Blunt did an amazing job. I mean, because when they were in the hotel and she was like, "Well, why don't you just fight back? Why are you just letting them like squander your name like this?" I was in the movie theater like, "But what possibly can he do?" And she sat down and she cooked that lawyer for a good like 5 minutes. She had him stuttering, like just amazing acting from Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt, and then Rami Malek, one of, in my opinion, I'm sure everybody in the movie theater heard me. I was like, "Oh shit, bruh." This dude is gonna come in and completely flip the roles on Louis Strauss, and he cooks him the entire time. He's like, this is unjust because he has biases against Oppenheimer because of what he did against like the national hearing. It was very, very, very good. And then I know a lot of y'all are gonna think I'm corny when I say this, but the anxiety I felt during this film, I have never felt in really any movie. Just like when you started filling up the bowls with the marbles to show how much uranium they had before they could start the production of the bomb or the detonation of the bomb. You put a couple in like every day, like maybe like five at a day. Then it cuts to like when he has all of them, and then it cuts to the nighttime, and then they're lifting the bomb up into like that like wooden cabin that's like elevated, and then just the countdown. It's just like 10, 9, 8. My heart was beating out. I thought I was gonna have like a heart attack or something. But like, okay. Spoiler warning, real quick. Spoiler warning. I mean, you can't really spoiler warning, like a history movie, because it's history. If you know what happened during World War II, then you've already been spoiled technically. But the nuclear bomb scene is a masterpiece. First of all, right when the bomb explodes, silence. Like you expect it to be like a loud boom right off the bat. It's quiet, like dead quiet. And like my movie theater, I appreciate everybody who is like just staying quiet, because when the bomb exploded and it went quiet, it was, you could hear a fly in the front row. It was dead silent. And then you see like the explosion, and it's expanding and expanding and it's zooming in. And then he says the famous quote, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." And then like 10 seconds after, boom! I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, if y'all see this movie and y'all are sensitive to sound, y'all might want to like cover your ears during that part, especially if you're seeing it in IMAX, because the sound quality is impeccable. I mean, I almost had to cover my ears, and I'm not sensitive to sound like that. It was that loud, which I guess is fair because it is a nuclear bomb, but it was just amazing. And I mean, just the actors, the cinematography, the way when Oppenheimer was in the very beginning, when he was in university and he was just sitting in bed and he was just staring out the window and he started imagining these things, and he saw like a different world pretty much. I mean, it's very impressive from Christopher Nolan to make this. And what makes it even more impressive is that he didn't use CGI. All of these effects, all of these imaginations, all of the explosions, they're practical effects. They're real. So in order for him to make that bomb, he actually had to blow something up to make it look like that. I think that's the most important thing to take away from this movie. I mean, it's just, the movie is impeccable. It's I see absolutely. I know I already said this. I sound like a broken record. I see absolutely no reason this should not be movie of the year. I don't think, although we are halfway through the year and there could be other movies that come out during the rest of the year that could maybe overtake it, I don't see that happening. The amount of effort that went into this film, the actors, I think the actors is the main part. Everybody that you know, to a degree, is in this movie. I mean, the cast is amazing, the acting is amazing, the story is amazing. Everything about this movie is just, it's great. This is probably, in my opinion, probably like top 3 Christopher Nolan movies ever. It's incredible. And I think more directors need to take, well, in a way, need to take more of like a biopic stance, because if this movie was this good, now of course, yes, nuclear bomb, everybody's like, oh, explosions, of course, but like other biopics, I feel like that could be like a whole other genre of movies that we haven't really tapped into yet. I mean, sure, we've had like, like civil rights actors or civil rights activist movies, and we've had different war movies, but like, we don't have a lot of movies explaining behind the scenes of war. Like, we always see war like on the ground fighting. We don't see like behind the scenes fighting. Like, if you guys have seen that movie, The Imitation Game, with Benedict Cumberbatch, I mean, that movie is great for its own reasons. But anyway, that's sort of a topic in of itself. But I mean, there are a few other movies that are coming out this year that I am excited for. But I mean, yeah, like these movies are just. I mean, we're coming out with a lot of good movies that I'm seeing. We have Craven the Hunter, we have Wonka, we have Meg 2, we have Dune Part 2, The Exorcist, Deadpool 3, Blue Beetle, The Marvels, Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I am very excited for just the future of movies, especially in this year. But I mean, matter of fact, skip all that. We'll review that when those movies come out. We talking about Oppenheimer today. It's just the movie also like leaves you with just like, if you're really paying attention and you're really thinking during the movie, after you leave the movie, you're just like, damn. Like that's all you can say. It's just like, damn. So I mean, the movie, My opinion. Let's see. What's one thing that like I could like if I'm being extremely critical, I'll give it a 9.6 out of 10. The only thing I would have wanted to see is either, or I felt like they should have shown, is either the actual bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the actual explosions, or the aftermath, because we didn't see that. And I think for people who didn't pay attention during history class, I'm just call y'all out. Y'all know who you are. Like, they don't understand how much damage it did to these cities. I mean, yeah, you can look up pictures, but I feel like in order to make it a perfect movie in my eyes, it's already as close to perfect as it can be. But in order to make it perfect, I would say you should show the aftermath of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because that's, well, I mean, to be honest, that'd be a horror show in of itself, because just the damage it did, and like the radiation, the burns, it's a lot. But I think like we should look at this movie and say like, this is why, of course, easy for me to say and not a position of power sitting in my bedroom, but this is a movie that shows why we shouldn't use nuclear bombs. That shows we shouldn't use it. I mean, the creator of the bomb, even after seeing what it did, said we shouldn't use it anymore. And I mean, I guess we'll just have to see in the future. I'm praying that we don't, obviously. I'm not trying to live in Fallout world. Could be cool, but nah. But I mean, yeah. Overall, I think the movie was about a 9.6. I mean, like I said, in order to push it over to the 10, just show what it did to the citizens of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I feel like that would be a good, what's the word? A good showing of the power of it. But I mean, other than that, I mean, the movie was amazing. If y'all can see it in 70 millimeter, if y'all live near one of the areas, then please go see it in 70 millimeter. That's the best viewing that I've seen, because I saw it in both IMAX 2D and then I saw it in 70 millimeter. 70 millimeter is way better, obviously. But yeah, this movie was really good. But that's about it. If you guys liked my review and just my thoughts about the movie, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. And leave in the comments if you guys want to see like any other movies you want me to review. I mean, I like doing it. I just like talking about movies that I like. I mean, I'll definitely be making reviews about movies in the future. Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a big one. The Exorcist is going to be a big one. But I mean, other than that, that's about it. All right. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.